Never know. You never know. What up, Roundup homies? What up? Roundup homies. Greetings, class. Greetings, class. It is an honor to be here with you. Platinum Whips. Platinum Whips. You wildin'. 3 houses in your name. I'm coming. I'm going to come and find you. Platinum Whips. 3 houses in your name. Oh, my Lord. Oh, wrong part. Good Lord. I can't even click on the daggone thing. Platinum Whips. 3 properties. I'm coming for you, bro. I'm coming for you. You know I'm coming for you. Look at Lord, I'm coming. Get these houses out of your name. My real estate roundup homies. Greetings, class. Greetings. Today, our mission in raising your financial literacy is to make sure that you don't have any houses in your name or your business name. After today, after this free land trust masterclass, you will no longer have to do that because you will have learned how this all works. Getting these houses out of your name can be a pain. Platinum Whips, my homie. It is harder to get a house out of your name after you own it. I will say that, but it can be done. It can be done. I got to get up inside your head and do a little brain surgery. Roundup greetings. I am Kris Haskins. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Yes, there are bigger guys, as my mentor used to say, I read in a book one day, there's always a bigger fish out there. There's always a bigger fish, right? So don't feel bad if you're not doing a million deals in a year. Shoot, we only do a few deals in a year, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I've got a large rental portfolio that I manage for myself. We flip properties, we do lease options, subject to owner finance, all that stuff. But you don't need to be doing 5 deals a month to have a productive lifestyle. And I don't want you to think that when you see all these dudes on social media, no doubt, you're like, oh, I need to do more deals. You only need a few deals a year. A few deals a year to take you to the next level to make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. It's real estate, right? It's real estate. You don't need a bunch of deals. So roundup today, what are we talking about? We're talking about land trusts. And I want you to know that the house doesn't need to know that you own it, and neither does the rest of the world. Why do we want to learn about land trusts here today? Well, let me tell you my disclaimer. First of all, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I am merely giving you this information for informational purposes only, right? Educational purposes only. You should go out and hire your own expert to back this information up. You're going to pay an attorney just to look over your trust. Once you get it, make sure you download the land trust document packet. If you use the code CURE, you can get 50% off. The link to get the land trust document packet is in the video description, okay? So download that and you can go over that with us while we are here today. Man, so much stuff. There we go. Use the coupon. I get this coupon stuff here. Use the coupon code CURE to get rocking and rolling with that. Okay, and as usual, if you look below, I'm going to put your questions in the chat box there. We'll get to them. Land trust can be used in all 50 states. Don't let anybody say you can't do it. You will possibly have to talk to the right people if you're not in a state that has a land trust statute. So if you're not in one of those states, we change the name to a revocable grantor trust. Very simple, okay? And people say, well, Kris, I'm just wholesaling, right? I just want to wholesale a deal. Why do I need to use a land trust? Well, I'm going to give you a scenario right now. You get a house under contract, right? Can't find a buyer. Seller gets grumpy, comes after you for specific performance. I have seen it happen. So the seller comes after you, come after your LLC, or if you put in the contract in your name, they can sue you for not buying their house. Hence why we want nothing in our name. I don't even care if you're wholesaling. We use land trust every time to keep properties out of our name every time we put a house under contract. 100% of the time, okay? Why do we do that? We don't want anything on public record or even on a contract that could possibly be on public record. See, the thing is, with the trust, you never go on title, okay? You never go on title when you use a land trust. Now, my guarantee to you today is you will understand how to set this stuff up. And no, you will not get it in an hour. I only have an hour with you, right? An hour and a half. You may have to rewatch this. I will leave it up for a few days. You may have to rewatch it to understand the concepts. It's going to take some time. It took me 3 years to understand how to use them, when to implement them. But the main thing that you need to understand is a land trust is nothing but a way to take title to a piece of property. Say that with me. A land trust is nothing but a way to take title to a piece of property. That's it. Don't try to fancy it up, make it more than it is. Don't try to give it a tax ID. Don't try to go out there and get an EIN. Don't get any of that stuff because it's going to be a waste of time. You're wasting time if you do that, okay? Mike, hold on. I got the wrong mic up. Sorry about that, y'all. Is that better? Do I sound a little bit sexier with that mic? Anybody let me know. Does that microphone sound better? Nothing but a way to take title to a piece of property. That's it. So if you keep that in mind, it allows you to deploy them a lot easier, right? Because when you have a contract, boom, you just set it up. And then when you go get the contract, see, the thing is, the attorney is going to charge you $1,000 to set up one of these things, right? They do that because generally speaking, they have their own land trusts. So when you walk in the door, they're looking at you like, yes, you want to get this property in a trust. Let's go ahead and get this set up. I've got my little button here, boom, on the computer. They can print it out for you, but you are going to walk in. How many clients do I have? They say, Kris, the lawyer got pissed when I had my own trust agreement walking into the to get this house under contract. So make sure you follow along my roundup. Use the coupon code CURE. You're going to get 50% off of my land trust document packet, which comes with 4 docs. We're going to go over all that today. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Yes, man. I'm excited. You guys, I'm honored you give me the opportunity to share this stuff with you. Okay, so I'm going to break this down so it's believable for you. Next, I need you to understand that there are some moving parts to this trust thing, okay? So we went over the disclaimer. I need to tell you why. It doesn't matter if you're wholesaling or you're buying, holding. So if you're holding a piece of property, I would say probably once a week I get a call from somebody or an email saying that, Kris, I got a judgment coming down. Why do we use them? I got a judgment coming down the pipeline. I need to get this house out of my name, right? Once the judgment is there, it's too late, okay? Once you have the judgment attached to your name, it automatically attaches to the house, which hence you have to pay it off in order for you to get out of that house, right? So how real estate works is they do a title search roundup. Every time we go sell a property, they do something called a title search. They go and see who's on record. And if you, Billy Smith, is on record, guess what? And you get a judgment, or if you're married to somebody that gets a judgment and it goes down to both of y'all, you have to pay off that judgment before you transfer the property. Let me tell you what hit me, why I started using these things. I remember the very first time I did it. I sold a house, right? I sold a piece of property. 6 months later, I get a tax bill from the county, right? I think it was $1,200 saying, at that time I was using this. I had just implemented land trusts. They sent me a tax bill, $1,200. I'm like, this isn't mine. Luckily, I had put that house in a trust, in a land trust, so it couldn't attach to me and I would be forced to pay it. See, when somebody comes after you personally and they want to get a judgment or get something on with the courthouse against you, you have to talk to them. But let them go get a judgment against a land trust that you sold the house 3 years ago, or even a trust that you own the property that you have already sold the property, it's irrelevant. You can't collect on it because I don't even own the trust anymore. If they want to put a judgment against me, none of that stuff goes against the real estate that I own. However, if they want to spend some money, the main thing that we use land trust for is for anonymity. But if somebody wants to spend some money and come after you, they can do that. Okay. So the main thing I want you to understand, we're using it to take title to a piece of property. And if somebody comes after us personally, they're going to have to spend some money to find out who's the owner of that land trust. Okay. And all this is going to make sense once we start breaking down the moving parts. So we got your Barron's guide here. If you don't have your Barron's real estate guide, just go to my website. You can get one there. I think I make 50 cents when you buy one. It's just recommended reading right there. And get your questions in. We're going to go over Q&A too. So every time, 100% of the time, we use land trust when we put a house under contract. Okay. So how does this all work? We're going to get to some of the terms here. There are 3 moving parts to the land trust. 3 moving parts. Everybody repeat after me. Say 3. 3 moving parts. If you're watching with somebody, tell your neighbor 3. Stupid box. First moving part is going to be our trust agreement. Now, you don't have to understand all this stuff right now. We're going to break it down and then I'm going to tie it all together for you if you don't get it. But just relax. Relax. You've hired me. You hired me, y'all. Okay. First moving part is the trust agreement. The second moving part is going to be your trustee. Okay. And the third moving part is going to be your beneficiary. Your beneficiary. My daughter got this thing. Okay. Let's go over those parts together with my Barron's book. All right. Barron's, get it. Okay. What is a trust? An agreement whereby property is transferred to a trusted third party by a grantor. The trustee holds the property for the benefit of another. That's going to be the beneficiary. I'll repeat that. The trust is an agreement. It's going to be a trust agreement, right? Whereby property is transferred to a trusted third party. That's going to be a trustee. Boom, right? They're the ones that are signing all the docs. By grantor, that's you. The trustee holds the property for the benefit of another, which is the beneficiary. Boom, okay? 3 parts. That's it. 3 simple, measly, pathetic parts to this thing. Don't complicate it. Let me get my water. All right, so we got our trust down, the trust agreement. How about our beneficiary? Oh no, we'll go to the trustee first. That's easier in my little thing here. The trustee. Okay. The trustee is the one who holds the property in trust for another, that's a beneficiary, to secure performance of an obligation. It is the neutral party in the trust deed transaction. The trustee is neutral. They don't care what happens with this trust. It is not their responsibility to care. They merely work for the third party, which is the beneficiary. Okay. The third party, which is the beneficiary. So if you want to keep that in mind, if you want to kind of give yourself a footnote, the beneficiary is the one that benefits from all the money that comes in. Okay. And I'll give you the definition of the beneficiary, then we'll move on and break it all down for you. Beneficiary, okay, is the person who receives or is to receive the benefits resulting from the certain acts. And this is going to be that trust there, right? From that trust. The beneficial interest is the benefit resulting from ownership position in a contract. And our contract is our trust agreement, okay? We got that out of the way. My Barron's, so make sure you download your Barron's book. So how does all this stuff work? How does it work? And once again, relax. You will not get all this on the first time. Took your boy 3 years, okay? Took you 3 years. But just as long as you keep in mind, it's nothing but a way to take title. We use them for anonymity, so judgments can't get attached. We don't own the property in our name. Here's the little flow chart here. Here's your house, right? You're going to buy your house. Hopefully you're setting all this up before you buy the property. See, a lot of times if you were like me, you resist it. You're going to resist using land trusts like I did when I heard of them in 2007. It took me 3 more years until 2010 to implement them. Finally implemented them after that long period of time. Good gracious. Why did it take me so long? Because I'm a man. That's why. That's the only reason I can think of. But you won't do that, right? You'll implement them immediately. You ain't going to do it. You'll still have to think about it and mull it over all in your mind until one day you say, you know what? I don't want to get a judgment. True story. I got a client, Chris. He had a construction judgment coming down the pipeline. Called me up, wants me to get the house out of his name. It's too late. It's too late if the judgment is there, okay? All right, here's the house. House goes into the trust agreement. You write it up when you're going to buy 123 Easy Street, Roundup family. When you go to buy 123 Easy Street, you put the name of the trust as the buyer, not you, okay? Let me repeat that. Not your LLC, not your personal name. The name of the buyer is the trust. A lot of times I ask my clients, okay, who's the buyer? They're like, well, the buyer's me. I'm like, better not be you. The name of the buyer needs to be the trust. How do we set up these trust agreements? How do we set them up? Well, I used to name it the last name of the person I was buying it from, the Little Family Trust or the Brown Family Trust. I've done that for subject to deals. Then I put the entire address, the 123 Easy Street Trust. I would name it that because once you get them stacked up, you get a whole bunch of them. Boom, 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 boom. You forget the names of them, right? Then hanging out with my boy Ron LeGrand, he told me, Chris, well, you should just put the street number trust, right? The street number trust. So now when we buy a new property or we have a contract to buy, let's say the address we're buying is 123 Easy Street. So the name of that trust is 123 Trust. 123 Trust, okay? So the house goes into the trust agreement. Your trustee is out here. Your trustee, another way to think about that is going to be your employee. Your trustee is your employee, okay? They are out there signing all the docs, the HUD settlement statement or the disclosure, whatever they call it now. Any type of promissory notes, mortgages, where they don't necessarily need to deal with insurance because you'll deal with that. Your trustee is the employee. They work for you, okay? So the trustee should be a person you trust. A lot of people, gosh, they say, Chris, I don't trust anybody. I say get better friends. Or I'm not mad if you use an LLC that you control, okay? I don't want you doing that because if you have an LLC that's the trustee, you got to have paperwork for that, renewing it every year. And then let's move on to your beneficiary, right? So you're the beneficiary, or you or your LLC. For us, we have an LLC that is the beneficiary. I want you to pay close attention to this dotted line right here, right? So the beneficiary is behind the trustee, which is the person that signs on behalf of the trust agreements, okay? So this is us. We're behind Ron calls it the Great Wall of China. We're behind the Great Wall of China, right? Okay. So your trustee signs all the docs for the trust agreement, all right? And we're going to go over all that stuff. I want you to understand how this works. Now, the beneficiary, you or your LLC, we are the people that are getting the benefit from the transaction. It could be rent. It could be selling or disposing of the property. It could be a down payment. It could be a refinance. Let me warn you because I love you. Your trustee can sell your property. They do have the ability to do that because they're on the deed, right? They can go and sell the property. They could go rogue on you. Now, that's why I'm going to give you a document called the Successor Trustee where you can fire them if you have to. I'm going to pray that doesn't happen to you. Your trustee can also refinance the property. Hopefully they won't do that. They can refinance it without asking you. That's why you need to have a person you trust as your trustee. Now, If you don't trust anybody, then I'd say use another LLC you control. I'm not mad at that. Bunch of paperwork. I don't necessarily recommend it. Or you can hire us. We do trustee fees for people all around the country. I don't do it. I do it as a service just because some people need it. They call me up or they email me, Kris, would you mind being my trustee? Sure. They FedEx us the documents. We charge you $200. FedEx them back to you. Done deal, right? I'm on title. I don't care if I'm on title. You live in Florida. I'm in Virginia. Now, let's talk about this trustee person. I do not want your trustee to be a member of your family. Further, that has the same last name as you. Okay, if they have the same last name as you, perhaps Johnny Haskins could be kin to that real estate mogul Kris Haskins, right? He's got deep pockets, right? Some might believe. So that's why I do not want the trustee to have the same last name as you, because the trustee does go on title. Okay, so use somebody. I would prefer them be out of state. I have some out of state and in state. I've got I've got several different trustees that we use. I don't want to have them all on the same. I don't want to have one trustee owning all of my properties, right? So I switch them out here and there. But these are gentlemen and ladies that I trust 100%. I don't have any problem. I can give them a check for $20,000. I know it's going to go where it needs to go. Round up, put your questions in here too. Get your questions in on the chat over there. You guys are really active today. Thank you. 130 people on here. Wow. Maybe somebody does want to hear this stuff. Trustee, somebody you trust. Okay. They go to closing. You don't sign anything other than the trust agreement. Okay. So somebody, you better trust them. You better have somebody you trust. And if you don't, I would establish some relationships with some people that you can trust. It's rough out here already being an entrepreneur, but not having anyone you trust, that can do a number to your brain. I don't wish that for you. Okay. So we got our trustee over. Yes, someone you trust, beneficiary. Now, you do not need a tax ID or any type of ID number on this or EIN, right? This is a land trust is what we call a flow through or pass through entity. All the transaction with the house, when you sell it, flows all right through to the beneficiary. Now, the beneficiary could be you or your LLC. I don't care. We use our LLC just because we do a lot of deals. So stop trying to go out there and get an EIN. How many attorneys said, Kris, let's go ahead. Yeah, you can get an EIN for a land trust, but it's just, you don't need it. It flows right through. And a lot of times you may not even own the house, but for 6 months you're flipping it. So don't worry about it. Don't get beat up over that. Okay. This stuff is a lot more simple than it appears at face value. Okay. So in a few moments, we're going to go over the documents. Make sure you have used the coupon code CURE to download your land trust document packet in the video description so you can follow along. I'm going to go over all this stuff, y'all. You're going to see my deed, exactly how it's titled. So let me see. House goes in land trust agreement, right? When you close, bam. House goes in land trust agreement. The trustee shows up to closing for you. The trustee shows up to closing. You are the beneficiary. You're sitting back in the cut, waiting for whatever income comes in. You're the one that benefits from the money that comes in, okay? Is this thing freezing? Looks like it's freezing. Let me check something real quick. So go ahead and get your docs ready. I'm getting ready to go over those right now. We'll go over the docs together. Share that with you. Get your questions in. Q&A, my favorite part of the day. Can you believe Jessica Siegel is an attorney now? We got to bring her back. I'm sorry. Attorney Jessica Siegel is a judge now. That is so cool. Who would have thought she'd be a judge, man? The discount code is CURE. Discount code is CURE. You can get right on there. Okay. Check one more thing. Get your docs. Stop putting these houses in your name, Roundup. I've been there. I have been there. Let's do this. Okay. So let me let you take a look at the deed. What does this look like? So this is a copy of one of my deeds here. Oops, I got to share the screen. So if you download the docs, you'll see the deed. This is just one of the deeds. Oops. A house that we bought. I don't know. Shoot, man. This one was worth $230. We paid $130. The deed of bargain and sale made this 24th day of April, buying between blank, Mr. Barnes, surviving spouse of that Barnes grantor for the purposes of indexing, hereinafter referred to as grantor and blank. This is our trustee here. I don't want to blow him up. He's my boy, but I don't blow him up. That's why. This is the deed, y'all. This goes on public record, okay? This goes on public record. This is why I don't want your name or a family member that has the same last name as you. So the trustee goes first, and blank trustee of the 408 trust. Okay, this is exactly how it reads. Oh, what is wrong with this stupid thing? Sorry, y'all. I know I'm making you dizzy here. Please forgive me. Let's just say, okay, whose address is blank. My trustee lives right there in Hampton. So this is the deed. We were the buyers on this. Trustee of the 408 trust. I want you to see that, y'all. Kris Haskins is nowhere. Kris Haskins LLC is nowhere. Why do I want that? Because I don't want to have to worry about anybody attaching anything. I might go out here and screw up. Get a $10 million judgment against me or an IRS lien. And further, I don't want my LLC on title because it's easy for them to go down to the state and find out who the registered agent is, right? You can do that stuff, okay? So notice here, that's the trustee of the 408 trust. How do we name this thing? The 408 trust, based on property address was 408 Westview Drive, right? That's the house we did. So I want you to understand why I'm doing, not only understand what we're doing, why are we doing this? Why are we doing it this way? Number trust, period. Very anonymous, right? Who in the heck owns the 408 trust? It would take somebody some time to figure that one out, right? But they can get a court order for my trustee, which, I mean, I'm prepared to deal with that. If they come after you, if anyone comes after you regarding trying to get a judgment against your trust, they are going to have to spend some money and go to court, okay? Which is a good thing. It's a good thing, right? If they're willing to spend some money, it might be something serious. So that's why the big reason we put properties in trust. I can't promise you asset protection because I'm not an attorney. I can't teach you that stuff. And I can show you how to take title to the property, not in your name. So once you layer it up, the asset protection comes in when you start layering the beneficiary. You can make this a LLC. You can make it a two LLCs here. That's where your protection comes in. Oops. This is good stuff, isn't it, y'all? Make sure you please give me a thumbs up and like this content down below also. Put that hit that thumbs up down there. Next document, let's go over the trust agreement. Bring up your land trust agreement. Let's go over that one together. So you understand what the deed looked like, right? So I'll make this a little bigger. Let me take me out of here. Let's go over this deed. Let's go over this deed, y'all. I'll take this out here too. You can. Oops. And this stuff is hard to do. I'm usually using 2 screens. I can bring stuff in and out, but today it's a little challenging. Let's do this. You saw the deed, land trust agreement. Here we go. This is the document. This is the document that you will use. You're going to turn into your closing company. You're going to give to your attorney or your title company, and they will draft up the deed for you, okay? I would prefer you not to draft a deed, but I'm going to give you a deed too. Warranty deed to trustee. So this is the trust agreement. It's 9 pages. A lot of stuff in here that we're not going to go over. I'm just going to go over the highlights of it. But just know this document, before we go over that, man, so much stuff to train you on. This document stays in your file cabinet in your home office or in your office, okay? You do not put the land trust agreement, number one, you do not put number one down at the courthouse. You do not record it, okay? How many times have I been asked, do we record our land trust agreement? No, the only thing that gets recorded is the deed, okay? So your land trust agreement stays in your office so you know who the beneficiary is and who the trustee is and what property it is and who does what, how much the trustee gets paid and all that stuff. You don't want anybody else knowing who the land trust beneficiary is. You don't want anybody to know who this is, the beneficiary. That would break the privacy of using the land trust, right? That's why we don't let anybody see our land trust agreement, okay? You do not record it. Remember that. You do not record it. Okay, this trust agreement made blank. You or your company name right here. And guys, you have to download the documents in order to be able to edit them, all right? You have to download this. Don't try to edit it online with a million people downloading them and changing them. Put your company name, that's going to be me, my LLC, as grantors, beneficiaries, hereinafter collectively referred to as the beneficiary. Whether one or more, which designation shall include all successors in interest of any beneficiary. Sometimes you have a successor beneficiary, right? And your trustee, somebody you trust. We went over that. As trustee, whose address is your trustee's mailing address, place it there. Hereinafter, trustee shall include all successor trustees, just in case you got to fire a trustee. Okay. Number one, declaration of trust. This trust created by the grantors, that's us, or whoever's creating it for you, herein shall be known as the street number trust. That's it right there. All right. The street number trust. So we're the grantors because we're creating our trust. The street number trust, y'all. So just type it in there. 1, 2. If you're buying 123 Easy Street, just name it the 123 Trust, and it's over. Do not overcomplicate the name. I remember when I had the Centera Trust, the Little Family Trust. I had so many. I'm like, I can't even remember the name of this stuff. Okay, hereinafter referred to as trust. Number 2, purpose of the trust. The purpose of this trust shall be to hold title to the trust property and to protect and conserve it until its sale or other disposition or liquidation. The good thing about number 2 is once the house has been sold, liquidated, or disposed of, round up, the trust no longer exists, right? The trust is done. You don't have to deal with this. That's why they can't come after you. What happens when you sell a house? Say if you have a house in your name and you sell it, 3 years later, something happens. I have seen it. Hole in the roof, rotten wood somewhere you didn't disclose, or they think you should have disclosed. The house needed a lot more work than you told them. They're going to come right back to the previous person that's on title. I've seen people get sued. I have seen the broker get sued along with that. So just make it a little harder for them to come after you, okay? When you use a trust, what are they going to do? Come after the trust? You don't even, it doesn't even exist anymore. Number 5, duties, interest of beneficiaries. The person named in the attached Exhibit B are the beneficiaries of this trust, and as such shall be entitled to all earnings. Okay, we're going to go over some of that in a minute. A, they have the right to direct the trustee to convey the property. They direct the trustee. Remember, we said the beneficiary is behind the curtain, pulling all the strings for the trustee. The trustee is out there like the employee, signing all the docs. B, they have the right to participate in the management. They have the right to, and control of the trust property. They have the right to receive the proceeds and avails from the rental, sale, mortgage, or other disposition of the property. All right, the beneficiary gets all the money and they pay the trustee out of those proceeds. Number 6, powers and duties of trustee. The trustee shall not record this agreement or the name of any of the beneficiaries in any place of public record. Remember, we said already, unless ordered by a court order. Okay, that's important. because this stuff is, somebody can come after you if they so choose to go hire an attorney and do that. It's going to cost them some money, but you're ready. Letter A. The duties of the trustee. Sorry about that. They can mortgage the whole or any part of the trust property, and they can borrow money. Remember, we said that already. They can give a note, right? So this is so important. This is crucial, guys. You got to keep your trustee can go out there and borrow money. Okay, this is serious. Now we have a way to get around that. We do get the trustee. What we do is we get the trustee to put a lien on the property, or we borrow a little bit of money and get a deed of trust or a mortgage against the property. So if the trustee does go rogue, they have to pay off that first, right? So there are ways around it. However, if you're up at night worrying about your trustee, you need to get a new trustee. I would say that, okay? You're reading it right here. It's right in the docs. The trustee shall have the following powers: with the consent of the beneficiaries, to purchase any real property for the trust. We went over that. They're buying the 123 Easy Street. And they can also sell at public auction, private sale, barter, exchange, or dispose of otherwise. Okay, any part of this deal. Trustees powerful. 3, they can rent or lease the whole or any part of the trust property. Very important. Okay, so remember that. Your trustee can rent your house out. Okay, you got to remember this stuff. That's why you don't want to get a trustee that you don't trust. Real estate is big on trust. You got deed of trust, trust deeds. Number 7, compensation of trustee. The beneficiary jointly and severally agree that the trustee shall receive the sum of $100. We pay our trustee because really all they're doing is driving to closing, signing the closing docs, and going home. One-time fee for the services as trustee hereunder. Liability of trustee. All obligations incurred by the trustee hereunder shall be the obligations of the trust only, and not the individual trustee, okay? The trustee shall not be required to enter into any personal obligations or liability in dealing with the trust property. What does that mean? Well, the trustee can go down the street, get into a car accident, get $1 million judgment against them, and it does not attach to the trust property. It does not attach to the trust agreement, right? And even if you get squeamish, you can fire the trustee and get a new one on there, right? But the trustee has no liability towards the trust property. So you can relax on that, okay? You can relax. Removal of trustee. The beneficiaries shall have the power to remove a trustee from his office or appoint a successor to succeed him or her at any time. All right. And you're going to get the successor trustee document. Number 10, resignation. Trustee may resign his or her office within 30 days with 30 days written notice to the beneficiaries. So we don't want to lock anybody in. Things don't work sometimes. And sometimes people have a different path in life, right? They might have to move on from being your trustee. Okay. Make sure you have downloaded your trust documents so you can follow along. Roundup. Use the coupon code CURE to get 50% off of the land trust document packet. 14, assignment. The interest of a beneficiary or any part of that interest may be transferred only by written assignment. And we're going to get deep into that. This is where you're going to be wholesaling bank REO property. This was extremely big. I remember back in 2010, 11, 12. Individual, we already went over that. The 15, the trustee shall have no individual liability or obligation whatsoever arising from his ownership as trustee of the legal title of the trust property. Some of the stuff is redundant. So the trustee, if they get a judgment, does not attach to the trust. 18, governing law. This agreement and all transactions contemplated hereby shall be governed by, construed, and enforced in accordance with the laws of the state of. Now, my roundup homies, change that to the state that you're in. Change that to the state that you're in. People call me up, Kris. The document says Virginia. I live in Florida. Do I change that? Yes, you do. I love you. I want to give you a hard time. Change it. All right. It's for your state. Do not put Virginia in there. Okay. This is going smooth. The last page, you're going to sign it, your name. So we sign as the managing member for my LLC. Let me show you that. So we're going to sign, boom. Oops. We're signing as the managing member for my LLC, right? And then your trustee. Oh, how do you sign? I forgot about that. Comma. You sign your name, comma. See right here? You better put that comma. It's so amazing how one little dot on a piece of paper can have so much power. Your trustee signs Billy Madison, comma, trustee. And what does that look like? Right? Simple, y'all. Simple. They sign their name, comma, trustee. Okay? That's it. Real simple. Your name, comma, trustee. I'm sorry, or your trustee's name. Good class today. Or if you're the beneficiary, your name, comma, managing member. If you are like us and you use your LLC, but that's just for the trust agreement, okay? So none of that goes on public record. And you get that notarized. Exhibit A, it's going to be your property address, your legal description. Just type that stuff right in there. And then Exhibit B is going to be you or your company name. That is going to explain or let the title company or attorney know who the beneficiaries are when you go to closing. Who do they cut the check to? Right? I've been in deals where they cut the check to the trustee. So a lot of attorneys and title companies don't even understand how this stuff works. And I'm working on my trust. Actually, I'm meeting with another attorney to tighten it up because I don't want them cutting a check out to the name of the trust. They should cut the name out to the name of the beneficiary, right? Okay, man, I've got a million questions. We'll get to questions in about 5 minutes, y'all. Put your questions in the chat box. All right, let's say, what do we do? What if a trustee goes rogue? We went over that. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's rewind. What if we want to assign our land trust, or we have a bank REO property, or some seller that would not allow us to assign the contract? Happens, right? So what we'll do is we'll assign the beneficial interest over to a third party for a fee, right? I cannot recall how many of these I did, man. So many. Back in the day when we had so many bank REOs on the market. Still got some today, but so we're going to use something called the standard assignment of beneficial interest. And remember, everything in the Kris Haskins Roundup arsenal is standard. Everything. Standard lease, standard trust, standard assignment of beneficial interest, standard purchase and sale agreement, standard assignment agreement, everything standard. That's because when somebody asks you, well, what about this? Well, no, that's standard. That's standard. That's just how we do stuff. Okay. So here's the document that you're going to use when you assign your beneficial interest over to a third party for a fee. This addendum made whatever date, address by and between the signee. The signer agrees to assign his rights and beneficial interest to purchase attached contract. You're going to have your contract for a fee, $5,000. And that's it. I mean, we can make it a lot more cutthroat regarding time. I remember I used to have time of day when these contracts expired, right? But I've loosened up a lot of things over time because I just don't like being so cutthroat with people, right? I mean, when I was like a full-time wholesaler, right? I'm telling you, full-time wholesaler is a rough business. You don't know when sellers are going to back out. You don't know when buyers are going to back out. Are buyers real? Are they just tying you up to wholesale it to somebody else? Is your buyer going to try to cut you out of the deal and go around your back to the seller? So much stuff can happen if you just wholesale, right? That's why I want you to own some assets, but not in your name, right? Okay, what if you're let's move on to your assignment of success. I'm sorry, your successor trustee document, standard appointment of successor trustee. Wow, I had to get that out. Appointment of successor trustee. Let's look at this one. This document you're going to use if you need to fire A trustee. Okay. Appointment of land trust replacement trustee. The undersigned beneficiaries represent that they are all and 100% of the beneficiaries. That's going to be us, right? To that certain declaration of trust and land trust agreement dated whatever it is, right? Which is known as your trust name, the 123 trust, right? This is going to attach to your trust. And they hereby replace current trustee, if you got Johnny Brown as your trustee, and appoint new trustee. Put their name in. If you're hiring Billy, I don't know, Billy Graham. Let's do it like I can't think of names. Billy Jenkins, right? Your new trustee, their address, and that's it. Make sure you get it notarized. Attach this to your trust agreement. And if you want to, if you really, really feel crazy about your previous trustee, just go do a new deed, getting them off the deed, right? You can do a corrective deed, just changing it over. I've done it before. Hold on. Have I ever changed out a trustee? I think if I have, I can't remember. Can't remember if I've done that. Simple to do though. It's your new trustee and it's over. That way you sleep at night knowing that your trustee is not going to go out there and try to sell your house, right? Okay. Q&A. Get your camera, get your questions in, Roundup homies, and go ahead and use the coupon code CURE. You can download my land trust document packet. Any of the docs. Oh yeah, the warranty deed to trustee. Now, remember I told you it's harder to get a house out of your name, right? After you buy it. You can use this deed, but I don't want you practicing law. I am not doing it. So here's the deed, warranty deed to trustee. This also comes in your doc pack. This deed, good for good consideration, made this day. Bam. It takes it out of your name. You're the grantor, and into your trustee's name, right? Out of your name into your trustee's name, right here. So your trustee goes there, and then the address, the legal description down here, property address. No loans. So this is the deed you can use, but I don't recommend. We let the title company or attorney do these deeds, right? I don't prepare deeds. I have done them. I don't like doing them. I promise you, I've been to somebody's house with a deed and they have sold me the house in the kitchen table, in the kitchen, like boom, 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 signing the deed. Because remember, buying a house is nothing but getting a deed from a seller. That's it. Now, all the money and all the liens and judgments and mortgages that we have attached to the transfer of the property, all that's extra. Loan fees and realtor fees, all that stuff. But buying a house, nothing but the seller transferring the title to your trust. Okay. Man, that was good. All right, let's get some Q&A. You got it down. House goes in trust agreement. Trustee signs on behalf of trust. You or your LLC. Oh, let me rewind. That's a person you trust, right? Got to be somebody you trust. You or your LLC are the beneficiaries behind the Great Wall of China, letting the money flow. You're the ones letting the money flow. You pay the trustee. The trustee is nothing but an employee for you. Okay. You collect rents, collect the money when the property's sold, refinanced, all that. You're the one that benefits from this transaction. So before we get in the Q&A roundup, you will not get all this at one time. It's going to take some time. So do not beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get it in one setting. You can rewind this video. I promise you, I consider myself like not that smart. I'm not that sharp. I'm like just an average guy. It took me 3 years. I remember when I told my accountants, I'm like, Miss Becker, I want to use a land trust. She's like, no, just put it in your name. I kept just I met with attorneys. I want to use a trust. Looked around. Finally, then boom, one day it hit me. It takes time. Dan Kennedy says, growing in business, getting new ideas is like that magic card. When you see that the 52 cards, we see the one card slide up. Everybody's seen that magic trick, right? When you see that card slide up, that's magic, right? But in order for us in business to get that card to slide up, we have to do a lot of searching, do a lot of talking, do a lot of researching, do a lot of reading, meeting a lot of people. in order for you to get that one idea, get that magic card going up. And the land trust for me was one of the magic cards that took 3 years for it to, the magic card trick when it slides up. Let's get some Q&A roundup, guys. A roundup, homies. Make sure if you want to, this discount will end tonight. Why do I let them in? Because you sacrificed your time to be with me. I am giving you value in your life. I want to give you a discount. And if you're watching this after the live broadcast, if you pay full price, it's just a few more dollars. It's not like it's the end of the world. All right. Rancho Cucamonga. Wow, you out there on the West Coast. What's up, John? Coffee, a trust for a family member. I don't know about that. I wouldn't put my trustee for the family member. John, would you use the land trust between you and the seller, A to B, if your goal is to assign the contract? Absolutely. It seems like I'm doing too much if I'm not even going to close. John, great question. Here's the thing, John. Remember I told you I had that client. He's a wholesaler. Got a house under contract. Couldn't find a buyer. Seller comes after him with an attorney. They can sue, they can come after you if you don't close. And yes, us investors, us savvy investors, have the clause in there that says, listen, if I don't close, then your only remedy is to take my earnest money. But you let some attorney, do you want to go to court on that? So 100% without exception, we use the trust every contract that we write. Okay, 100% without exception, my friend. It's not a lot. You don't even need the trust when you go to, you just write, when I initiate a contract, John, all I do is I just put 1, 2, 3 trust as the buyer, boom, and it's over. There's no difference between writing your LLC, your name, or the trust. You have to put something there. Why not put something that gives you no liability? Okay. Hey, Candace, how you doing? Yeah. Anthony, sweet, I caught the promo code purchase. Okay, good for you. Good for you. Anthony, you've got a house in your name. Don't feel bad. I still got one. Don't feel bad. Coffee, I have 2 properties in a trust that is in my name, but want to set one up for a family member. Yeah. That I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, I have a trust with my name on it. Is that the same? So you have the Coffee Baldwin Trust. I'm not mad at that. I still don't want your name on it, but at least you got it in the trust. You don't own it. Your trust owns it, right? Hey, from Israel. Wow, we're going broadcasting worldwide today. Clay, what's up, brother? I would like to do this for my mother-in-law. Good for you. I would. You know what's weird? I would like to do this for my parents. They won't listen. They won't listen to me. She has her personal property and an investment property. Good for you. So you download it, take it to the title company, tell them to create a deed, deeding it from her into the trust. And I don't know who would be the trustee for her, but that's up to you. Good idea. I wish my parents would believe Kris Haskins when I tell them about real estate regarding trust and stuff like that. But it's part of life. That's right, Candace. Nothing but a way to take title. Look at this. Israel. I heard from a few sources that it can be quite challenging to get a non-recourse loan while holding houses in a land trust. Now, here's the thing. That's an excellent point. I wish I could read Israeli. If you own a property in a land trust and you try to go to get a conventional loan, you may have to deed it out of the trust into your name, right? But we use private investors and we use banks that understand this stuff. Why? Because I bet the banks that we use probably started dealing with trust because of us, right? So the bank is, some banks will allow you, as long as you put a personal guarantee on that loan. They don't care who owns the property, right? You're the one on the hook for the loan. Okay. So I don't know your name. Type your name in so I know who I'm talking to. Say, for instance, if you have a house in a trust, bank says, we're not going to loan you the money unless the house is in your name. Okay. Deed it out of your name. Deed it out of the trust into your name, close the loan, and you can go down there and do a simple deed, get it out of your name back into the trust. Okay. I just don't want your name on title. You are a sitting duck. You're sitting duck. I got a call just 2 days ago. Somebody was a married couple getting a divorce. Judgments coming down the pipeline for the husband. House in both of their names. Just nasty. Nasty. You don't have to worry about every house we own, even the house that I live in, is in a trust. I remember one time I used to have my clients come over. They said, Kris, I looked up in the tax records and you don't own that house. You daggone right I don't own it. I don't own any houses. All right. Well, I have that one that I need to get out of my name. Barry White. Okay, I'll take that. Clean and crispy. Good. Sylvester. I'm working on a deal now, and it's an all cash offer. Okay. This will be my first deal. Keep it for yourself. Good. I have an LLC set up for my house. Okay, good for you. I'm not mad at an LLC. I, Sylvester, just don't want your LLC on title either. But I'm not mad at you. John, if I put my owner occupies house in the land trust, do they reassess the taxes if I transfer to my heirs? Absolutely not. That is another reason that we use land trust. When you move on to the afterlife, the house stays in the trust. Now, there is a document that you can get. I don't have it, but a death document. I need to get that one from my boy, one of my attorney friends. But that's the beauty of the trust. You can put a successor, what is it? Beneficiary on there. I do not have that. I don't want to. I'm not crossing that border. I would like for you to set that up with an attorney. But the house does not change names. That's why I want you to use this. If something happens to you, you don't have to worry about reassessment at the courthouse, right? Isn't that cool? Sylvester, I will be Airbnb-ing it from why you Airbnb. Okay, yeah, you still need to have it in a trust. I don't care. I don't care how you rent it out, sell it, lease it. Naturally gifted goddess. I'm in the process of buying my first home through 203K. Can I use a land trust? Should I do it now or after closing? Naturally gifted goddess, that is a great question. See, the thing is, when you're dealing with, this is what I call conventional loans, right? They are going to want to see the title in your name, generally speaking. So I would ask them before closing. You could switch it over. You can assign it to your trust if they want you to do that. But if they don't let you do that, then you can just transfer it after you close, right? Sylvester, I will be Airbnb from time to time, John. Would the trust still be the better option over the LLC? By the way, the property will need $100,000. Sylvester, 100% of the time, 100% of the time, we use land trusts, right? Or revocable grantor trusts, okay? 100. Why do I say that? Sylvester, it's not you. I mean, it's not just you. It's people pay me too. They're like, Kris, do I still need to use a trust even if I'm doing this? I'm like, yes, use a trust every time. Why, Sylvester? You can always make your LLC the beneficiary of the trust. Okay. So in essence, your LLC is still there, Sylvester. It's just not on title, which is where I don't want you to be. But if you want to put your LLC on title, go ahead and hit it. Go ahead and do it. Yep. Land trust, nothing but a way to take title. That is right. I love it. Fox Home Bike. Can you have a clause for 2 trustees that have to be signed in order for the property to be sold? I'm sure you can. I never have. If we go back to our land trust here, let's show that. That's a good one. Maybe try that one. That's a good one. If you go back to our land trust, we've got our place here where what page is this? Page 7, where our trustee would sign right here. I'm sorry, right here. This is where your trustee signs. That would be nice. Just put another one over here. Yeah, there you go. You're thinking. That way you got checks and balances, right? Man, who asked that one? Fox. Yeah, that is cool. That's a good one. Put 2 trustees on there. But now you got more liability. What if somebody gets into an argument? I don't know. You can always fire them. But here's the thing, Fox, you can layer this thing up. You can layer your way up out of here. 2 trustees. You can have a You can have an LLC as a trustee. You can have another LLC as your beneficiary. You can have so much stuff. But then when you go dispose of these houses, you have to unwind all this stuff. I've been there trying to unwind all this stuff. So try to make it as simple for yourself as you can. Okay. Make it simple. Keep it, what is it? KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. June to 9. I bought my first property in my name. Can I change the owner to my trust on the refinance? Yes, you can. You can change. Don't forget, you can change ownership of a house at any time. At any time, you do not have to worry about the lender. Just like the lender can change ownership of that loan, they don't have to let the owner know. June, they are selling your loan behind your back every day, right? Do they tell you? Do they ask for permission? No. For the owner, lender, right? The lender transfers. You got Wells Fargo selling to Bank of America, selling to Fifth Thirds, 3/5 Bank, selling to Regions Bank. They never tell the seller. Just like you can transfer ownership anytime, even within yourself. You can sell it from yourself to your LLC, okay? Coffee. Are your Section 8s in trust? Is your trustee on your trustee, you or your LLC? Coffee, good question. My Section 8 properties are in trusts. I have that one. Remember, I told you I've got that one that's still, I need to get it out of my name. But yes, in a trust. But Section 8 doesn't care about, Section 8 doesn't ask you to turn in the deed when you go down there and turn in the lease, right? So my LLC is the one that does the leases. And my trustee is my trustees, I have several of them. My trustee is somebody that I trust, a business associate, right? My trustee is a business. Oh my Lord. My trustee is a business associate. I lost where I was at. Here you go. Bay. Any of you know what? Oh, I don't know what that is. Heather, I thought your guest Nate said he put the beneficiary as a seller first. Yes, you can put when you buy a house, you can put the trust all set up and then transfer the beneficial interest over to you if you want. You can do that. Yeah, but Nate Moore does that for subject to stuff, right? I don't want to speak for Nate, but when we talked, when he came on my channel, that was more of a subject to type of thing. But at the end of the day, still you're transferring title. You still transfer. John, if my LLC is the beneficiary assigns the beneficial interest in the trust for a fee, does it trigger change in title? Man, that's a good one. John, you onto something here. So change in title, you don't own it. My LLC change. No, it does not. Does not change in title. I think we went over that too. That's why we use them. It does not change in title. You can sell a house. I can sell 123 Trust to Joe Blow for $50,000, get a check, and he still owns. Now he owns 123 Trust. Let me repeat that. You can sell the beneficial interest. You can sell the beneficial interest to a property of this trust to a third party, and they own the 123 Trust, right? And they're the new beneficiaries. Now you will have to holler at the IRS. You can't be doing this stuff. It is considered a taxable event, but it doesn't change. You don't have to pay closing costs, no recording fees, doc prep, all that stuff. So that's with another power, John, of using the land trust. Tanya, can the trust 123 get an EIN to file annual tax desperate from your personal? You can get a trust number. They have some type of statute at the state where you can get a trust number, but Tanya, why would you do it when you can just flow it right through to your beneficiary, which is your social security number or your tax ID, right? You can. I'm not mad at you, but you can. Thanks for, you're welcome. You're welcome. How can I change Matthew? Hey, Matt, how do I change trustee? When you download my land trust document packet, you're going to get a document called the appointment of land trust replacement trustee. It's a successor trustee. That way you let them go. New trustee comes on, you get it notarized, and it's over. Okay, so that comes with the packet. It's just a document. Black ink on white paper, Matthew. Okay, the bearded investor. See. And don't forget, Roundup, use the coupon code CURE to get 50% off of my land trust document packet. Okay. The link is in the video description below. Dennis, do you have a trustee on a sub 2? Can they refinance and do they actually own the property? Yes. So the house I live in, I have a trustee. Yes, he can refinance it if he wanted to. No, they don't own the property. The trust owns the property. If you remember our deed, I'll show you that deed again. Copy of our, what's my deed? Oops. Let's look at our deed again on that. Blank land trust, warranty deed, a warranty deed. Here we go. So this is what your deed looks like. Who asked that? Dennis? This is what your deed looks like, my friend. So I bought the house here from Mr. Barnes. The grantee is my trustee here, and he's the trustee of the 408 trust. Okay. So this is what your deed looks like. You are nowhere. Your trustee's name is on there. That's why I don't want your trustee to have the same last name as you. But Dennis, yeah, they don't own the property. Your trust owns the property. Barry K, can you explain more how to do LLC for both trustee and beneficiary? Oh my goodness. I guess I could do that quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I don't want you, I would prefer you not to do this. Barry K. So your trustee, right? If you don't trust anybody, you can create a new LLC, right? That you're the managing member. And you have an LLC here as a beneficiary that you're the managing member. So you've got LLC 1 and LLC 2. This thing can get real muddy, right? So when you have LLC 1 as the trustee, you're going to sign on your land trust as managing member, trustee, comma trustee, right here, same thing. And you're going to sign your name, comma, managing member for that LLC too. So, I mean, you got two, you're the managing member for both LLCs, Barry K. So I don't want you doing that, but you can, because think about it. Every year you gotta, if you have two LLCs, and then you gotta, I mean, can you grow it? You got different paperwork coming every year. You gotta get a new certificate. It's just nasty. So I recommend you just to find somebody, but what you can. Oh yeah, the discount code is CURE. I think we're close to finding us a vaccine, y'all. Heather, should I put the seller as beneficiary first in a subject to deal? The mortgage is with a small bank. I wouldn't care. No, I have done that, but here's my opinion on that. You're trying to disguise. Here's my thing. I try to stay far away from fraud, right? If you put a house in a trust with the seller's name on it, they're the beneficiary. You close it all out. Your seller signs over an assignment of beneficial interest over to you. From my opinion, I mean, that could be construed as fraud, right? Because you're trying to do something to make it not look like what it is. So if you just transfer it over, it's done, right? But I'm not saying not to do it, Heather. I know we've had people on here. I know there's some people that do it. I have done it. So Derek, imagine going to see Jessica. Oh, Jessica, she's the judge now. That'd be crazy. Going to Jessica's courtroom with a CYA letter. That would be cool, really, because she already knows what's up. Lakeisha, is it safe to put the beneficiary in your personal name? Yes, I'm not mad at that. At least your name is not on title, Lakeisha. Mar Barters, in a nutshell, explain, please. No way. You know I love you, but don't prostitute me that bad. Just rewind the video, okay? I'm prostituting my body, as Ron LeGrand says. Ryan, Mr. Haskins, can a trustee be sued or responsible for any owed taxes, mortgage payments, etc., for the property which they are a trustee? Basically, what is their potential liability? 0. I have had a trustee file bankruptcy. Okay, how bad? You can't get any worse than that, right? Trustee file bankruptcy. You're fine. No liability with the trust, okay? Zero, none. That's why we put them in trust. Nick, how about a real estate attorney? Maybe, hopefully, honest, trustworthy. Crazy. Nick, what I have found is attorneys will do it, but I don't have one for you. Yeah, maybe. Hey, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up for me. Please smash that like button for optimization purposes. Round up. Yes. Michael, I don't understand how this protects you. Wouldn't they just sue the trust? Yes, they can. They can sue the trust. Well, Michael, if they sue the trust, they're going to have to spend some money, as opposed to saying going to the tax records and saying Kris Haskins owns 123 Easy Street. We could just get a judgment right against him. If the trust owns the house, they're going to have to go through some filtering, right? They're going to have to talk to a judge. They're going to have to do some research to get that judgment and further have it to stick, right? And how can you my thing is, how would you even sue a trust unless you're going, you would really, what they want to do is get to the beneficiaries, because the beneficiaries are the ones that have the money, right? The trust, all it does is own the house. You can sue a trust. I don't think you're gonna get far with that though. Eric, how does homeowners insurance work for trust? Well, I told my insurance company that my houses are owned in a trust, and they just made a note on my policies of that in the computer system. I went down each one of them, boom, 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 so they would know. But I don't have the name of the trust on the insurance policies because I don't want to have to cash a check. I don't want to have to worry about cashing a check to a trust, right? I want the check to be made out to me or my LLC. So here's the thing: I have to be very, very vigilant when it comes to properties we own, because we don't have mortgages on them, right? I have to make sure insurance is paid, taxes all the time, all that, and make sure it's title right. Make sure the not mortgagee, the person on the title on the insurance policy, because I don't have mortgage companies on my back riding me to make sure, Kris, you got to do this. So we have to be very grown up. Wealth requires some time, some mental capacity, some thinking to manage wealth, taxes, insurance. I have to do this stuff all the time. Make sure my insurance policies are good. I don't have any mortgage companies that are making me do that, right? So it's challenging. Also talk about how important it is if you go through a divorce. Yep, I got people. So you got husband, wife, right? Husband got judgments. Wife wants to sell the house. Can't sell the house, right? That's why you have it in a land trust. You can work all that stuff out on the back end, because they probably are going to want to do a title search on your beneficiaries, right? But you can change them up. Change them. Do you know what? I don't know what a low dial title, or I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, my friend. Did you ask me that? Yeah, Bay, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Sunny Row, if you alter the trust at any time, adding or removing beneficiaries, do you also have to change the deed? You do not. Think about it. 123 trust, I can sell that trust for 10,000, 20,000 to a third party. Now the third party owns the trust. I just have to make sure that I tell the IRS that I don't have to worry about the deed. If that new third party wants to get a new trustee, they can change the deed, but they don't have to. You can use the same trustee if you like. Get your questions in, man. You got some good questions tonight. Some good stuff. Good stuff. Irma, who paid the judgment on the property if the house is going to be sold? Well, if you want to sell your house, you will have to pay the judgment, unless you're dealing with enough equity to where the buyer will pay it. So, Bay, is the trust a private trust? Absolutely. The trust agreement goes in your filing cabinet, my friend. You better not be letting anybody know who the beneficiary is for that trust. Derek, so there is a property deed and a land trust deed. No, it's just one deed. One deed. There's a land trust agreement and a deed. But yeah, it's just one deed. Matt, if we use the trust and LLC, trustee and beneficiary, then we're paying for 3 entities to the state. And do we need to file taxes for trust each year? Excellent question. Excellent question. Get your download your trust documents, y'all. Remember, we said that the land trust is a pass-through entity, right? Pass-through entity. Therefore, you're doing your tax returns. I have been audited. I'm trying to get the strength to bring you guys all the details on my audit. If your house is in a trust and the IRS auditor wants to know why you're claiming taxes on it, you will have to show them your trust agreement where you're the beneficiary. But generally speaking, a land trust is a pass-through entity, flow through. So it just flows right through to your beneficiary, social security number, or tax EIN. Okay, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about who asked that one? Matt, you're complicating it. You're muddying it. You're muddying it up. Matt, you do not have to file taxes on the trust. It flows through right to the beneficiary. Don't worry about that, my brother. Sunny Road. Do all listed beneficiaries have to report the trust on their taxes, or is it only the beneficiary with the most beneficial interest in the trust that would have to report it? Sunny, I'm presuming that you are asking because you have multiple beneficiaries on your deal here. I've only done a few that I have multiple beneficiaries. And taxes, they just go right through to your tax return. I mean, it's no big deal. It goes right through whoever the beneficiaries are. It goes right through to their tax return, right? So I have some houses that my IRA is part beneficial interest on some of my rental properties, right? So that's I only own, let's say 40% or whatever percentage it is, I only pay on the percentage that I own personally, or my LLC would own, right? Good one. Sonny. Matt, any pros or cons keeping multiple properties in a single trust? We don't do that. One trust, one property. And Matt, I'm giving you the trust for a few tanks of gas. You can just print it out, get a new trust to each house. Clay, I don't want you putting more than one house in one trust. One house, one trust. If someone comes after you for any reason, which could, can you ignore them or should you save all paperwork? Yeah, I would save it. If you remember at the beginning of this training, I've had city treasuries coming after me. It was frivolous, but they came after the trust and they disappeared. Janine, I need better friends. I hear you. Well, I've been there too. Coffee, I pay my trustee $100. Matthew. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking to him. Okay, Sonny, at the beginning of the trust agreement, do you list all the beneficiaries if there is more than one person, or is it just one person? Yes. All the beneficiaries, my friend, go on the page 1 as well as page 9. All right. So when you have your trust agreement and you're filling it out, page 1, it might be long, right? I know for me, like for my IRA, like my kids covered it, my kids' college account might come in on a deal with us. It could be long. Type it in, then it's over. Put it in there. First page and the last page. Clay, what paperwork do we show if we need to go to court or another government entity? I would need to know why you're going to court. If you're talking about for a lease or rental, I wouldn't worry about that. You just use that for your LLC. No one's going to say, who owns this property to pay the rent or for you to do a lease option? William, hey, can we get the lease option 50% off? Right, struggling. I'm not doing that tonight, my friend. I'm not doing that tonight, but we may have some goodies coming up for the future holidays and all that stuff. Platinum, where can I get a blackboard? Just go to Amazon, my friend. Coffee, what is the reason for the assignee? The assignee is the person that you're signing the beneficial interest over to. All right? You are the assignor, they are the assignee. They are getting the trust that you're selling over. Janine, thank you for the deed. You are welcome. You're welcome. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here. Great content. Yes, you're welcome. Should we have a different trust for each property? Navi Realty Group. Absolutely. One trust, one property. Will this trigger the due? Platinum Whips. Will this trigger the due on sale clause? I don't know. I'm not a bank. But you don't know what could trigger that. You just don't know. You got to just deal with it. Don't be scared. Dennis, C. If a person I trust is married or owes child support, is my property at risk with them being the trustee? Absolutely not. Now, I have a personal thing with this child support because I've got 2 daughters. I would Dennis want to talk to them about helping them make some money to pay that child support. So poor thing, they got that child. My single mothers out here. I don't know. I'm not judging you, Dennis. I'm just saying, no, they don't have any liability. That child support does not attach to the trust. You can use them. Candace, if the trustee gets any wrong legalities, is the property safe? Yes, I have had a trustee file bankruptcy, and they didn't even ask about him being the trustee on my properties. Coffee, the assigning thing, 5,000. I didn't understand why I want to use that. That's if you are assigning your beneficial interest to a third party, right? You got a trust here. You're going to sign it over to somebody else. You can do that. Or if you want to sign the contract over to somebody else, you can do that too. Candace, how does the wholesaler handle these documents when dealing with the seller and buyer? No different. You're going to set it up like you're going to buy it. Got your trust agreement. And then you're going to just assign. You can either assign the whole thing. You can assign it from the trust to a new buyer or assign the beneficial interest to a new buyer. So you don't have to assign, Candace, you don't have to assign the beneficial interest. You can just do a regular assignment with the land trust, right? Just like it was you. Derek, do you record the warranty deed with a lawyer? No, you have the attorney create the deed and then they let them record it down at the courthouse. Candace, as a wholesaler, do you have to tell the title company you process your deal as a land trust? Yes, you will have to tell the title company all the information on your trust when you go to closing. Okay. But as a wholesaler, because you want them to write you the check, right? Platinum, what about the dual circle? Oh, yeah, we did that already. Raul, you are welcome, my friend. You are welcome. Fox, can you have a clause for a dual signature for trustee? Yeah, we went over that one. That was a good one. No, my audio went out? Raul, what is my favorite way or what way works best for you to find deals? Right now, the internet, man. Internet, I'm looking at my mail here. I'm still getting postcards from people, so I guess they're working. Text message, too. Text message is working. A lot of people doing that. We're seeing a lot of that around the whole country. I don't do cold calling. I might do it one day, but I do have clients that do it. They do a lot more volume than me, but I'm not a volume guy. My thing is long-term holds. Like my long-term holds on my engine. Candace, so you're sending the seller the purchase and sell and the trust agreement too? No. The only thing the seller gets is a purchase and sale agreement. That's it. You keep the trust agreement. The only person that sees the trust agreement, right? Number one, is you and the title company. That's it. Nick, something. Oh, okay. Good. Derek, do you make the trust before or after you close on the property? Derek, you must create the trust before you close on it. Okay. Just think about it like this. You're going to buy 123 Easy Street. The attorney's going to say, okay, well, where's the contract? And your contract's going to say 123 Trust as the buyer. The attorney's going to say, okay, well, where's the trust agreement that outlines that 123 Easy Street or Main Street? I don't remember what I said. 123 Main Street goes into the trust. The trust agreement outlines all that. Okay. The trust agreement outlines the name of the trust, the trustee, and the beneficiary. That's why we got 3 parts: trustee, trust agreement, trustee, beneficiary. The trust agreement outlines it all. So when you go here, boom, there we go. Then they will create the deed based on the trust agreement, my friend. Yeah, brother. So they're not going to let you close on it without that. Would it be best because I'm doing put the house in a land trust? Always, 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 Candace. You know I love you. we put houses in land trust. That's what we do. Or if you're not in a land trust state and your title company's funny, you just change it to, what is it? Revocable grantor trust. Simple. My sister and I are on the deed. Oh my Lord. Please, I'm begging you, get off the deed. Candace, get off the deed. Okay? You ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. Derek, after the seller agrees to sell you the property, you create the land trust. Yes. Well, after you have a ratified contract, you turn that into the title company. Then the title company is going to say, okay, I see 1, 2, 3. Trust is the buyer. Where's the trust agreement? That's when you turn it in. I'm giving you a hard time, Candace. I know you can do it. Get your name off that deed, okay? I love you. Brother, but if the people know their pedigree, they can tear up back with their trust. I don't know what that is. What is this guy talking? He's talking about some new age stuff. James, do you have to use the title company in the state you're buying the property, or can you send the title company in your state the property be out of state? I've never bought a house. I'm sure you could. If you use a title company that's not in state, they will have to be licensed to close deals in this state. It does vary state by state. So yeah, you can. I don't know where you're at, but I would prefer to. Yeah, you're going to have a company that's in another state be licensed in that state. That's going to be rare, though. Dennis, if I purchase the trust paperwork from you, do I file them with an attorney? Separate trust for each house. Yes, separate trust for each house. You file it. No. You give it to the attorney. You get the trust to the attorney. Let them create the deed for you. When you give them the trust agreement, they will know what to do. Let them do what they do best based on the documents that you give them, okay? Don't let them do their own deed. They will probably want a copy of your trust agreement. You can let them see it, but they'll probably want to have that just in case they get audited. Irma, Kris, can I put my house on the trust? Yep, I have a mortgage on it. Don't forget, ownership, mortgages, they don't go together. We put them together. You can transfer from Kris Haskins to 123 Trust without even telling the lender. I wouldn't even tell them. Dennis, I heard someone say a trust and an IRA. Do you know how they connect? Yes, I do. I do this. This is what we do, my friend. I'm giving you a hard time. So you can have your IRA as a beneficiary on a trust. Okay. You can have your IRA as the beneficiary on a trust. All right. So we might buy a house and have my IRA, my wife's IRA, my kids' Coverdell, all them being on as the beneficiaries, right? So, but you don't want to do self-dealing. So you need to make sure you got all your numbers right. I'm not recommending to do that, but your question was, you can use a trust and an IRA. Yeah, you can do that. Brent, hey, my friend, can you use the same trustee for several properties or new trustee? Yeah, I wouldn't have a bunch of people, but yeah, use a few of them. I've got about 3 or 4 people that I rotate, and we pay them to do that. You don't want to muddy it up too quick. You get 20 trustees running around. That'd be crazy. Coffee, when you get that death document, yeah, I'd like to say I've been trying to get it. Trying to get it. I don't have it. Will this trigger the due on sale clause? I do not know. I do not know how banks think, but I would rather have it in a trust than in my name on my LLC name. Because if I was scared about that, you can always, I'll just say George Foster owns a house. You buy it subject to, you put it in the Foster family trust, right? You are the beneficiary of the Foster. You're the beneficiary of the Foster family trust, right? It could appear that the person just took it from their name and put it in the family trust. That's one tool that I've done. Now, I don't even really care. I just put it in a number trust. Thank you, my friend Sylvester. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up. I fat fingered it. Oh, okay. We got you straight, my friend. We got you. round up, make sure you take a few moments, use the coupon code CURE. That coupon code will end tonight. Okay. But if you miss it, it's only a few more dollars. It's only over the price of a few tanks of gas. If all you got was the knowledge to be able to take your house out of your name, is it not worth a few tanks of gas getting this stuff right? Clay. Oh, thank you for support. Thank you for supporting my mission, Brother Clay. Dennis, if you have a trustee on a sub 2, can they refinance and do they actually own the property? Yes, the trustee can refinance, but it all depends on the lender. A lot of times, a lot of lenders don't want you to refinance when you have another person on the debt. I don't know why. It's crazy. Ryan, if you sell a property in a trust, sell it in a trust. Do you sell the beneficial interest to the trust, or do you transfer the title of ownership to the buyer themselves? Do you ask different prices depending on the choice? Ryan, here's the problem. Transferring beneficial interest over to a new buyer is an advanced strategy, and a lot of investors are scared of it, right? So I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, you're going to just sell the whole property, sell the whole deal. You're going to go to closing, get it out of the trust name to the new buyer. So the price, it could be a little different. You save a lot of money on closing costs, right? You might save $3,000, $4,000 just in closing costs, but now the price will be the same. Michael, what are the risks? Why can't the disgruntled party just sue the trust or sue your trustee? Here's the thing. I have been privy to a lawsuit being a trustee myself. My mentor used to hire me as the trustee. I have been to court. They cannot sue the trustee, my friend, because the trustee is nothing but an employee. Think about it if you were to sue the McDonald's cash register person. They're just working, right? They're just working. Now, they do have more responsibilities being the trustee, but the trustee cannot be sued. I have the documents in my folder. Maybe I will bring them out one day, the lawsuits that I've been in. The disgruntled party sued. Yeah, they can sue the trust, my friend, but you're going to sue a trust. What are you going to get? Trust doesn't have a bank account, only owns that one property. I mean, what can the trust do? It's the beneficiaries that ones that can do that you can get some money out of. What can a trust do? It just owns. Remember, a land trust is nothing but a way to take title. It's just the owner. Okay. Derek, does the attorney have to be in the same state that you buy the property you're in to close on the property and for your trust? Generally speaking, yes. Now, I will tell you, Derek, it is challenging to find these people. It took me 5 years to find the people that understood trusts and wholesaling and lease options and subject to and all that stuff, right? It took me some time. So don't beat yourself up if you don't have those pieces to the chessboard yet, those pieces. It will take some time, my friend. I think I know where you're coming from. You guys got some phenomenal questions here. Phenomenal questions. James, do you have to do a deed of correction to change the trustee? I believe so. But your attorney or title company will know that. They just passed a law, John, where they're trying to reassess taxes to the heirs. Yeah, this would be a way around that. They won't even know you're gone. How would they know? The trust owns the house today. You die. Trust still owns the house tomorrow. Don't have to change title. You can own the house to the end of the world. Only people that will know is the IRS. You have to tell them this stuff. It's going to be a bad hair day for you. You transfer title and 8 years later, you ain't paid taxes on the income. Oh boy. Sylvester, my team and I are working on a deal for a fix and flip. Good for you. Phenomenal time to be doing fix and flips. Good time. Is it smart for us to put that deal in a trust from the start and then sell the trust? I doubt you can't. You will not be able to. If you're buying a house to fix up and sell it, you will not be able to transfer that trust to a new end buyer that's going to be getting a loan. It's not going to happen. So you're going to just have to sell the deal just as if you were going to sell it out of your LLC. So I would keep your LLC as a beneficiary. That's what I would do, my friend. You're not going to be able to sell a trust to a conventional buyer. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. Candace, what contracts in your package does a wholesaler use? This can work for land, house, even mobile homes. Absolutely. Contracts. We just have a regular standard purchase and sale. It comes with my subject to document packet. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Delegation of authority order is the power to assign or appoint a trustee. DOA. That could be it. Yeah. Maybe this guy's an attorney. John, you could set up an LLC for your trustee and have them sign as. That's right. You can do that. I don't want you doing that because it's just creating another moving part for you. But you can. You can have 2 LLCs on one trust. Trustee, beneficiary. Don't want you to, but you can. COFORI. Do you make the trustee sign a non-disclosure to protect the beneficiary? No, I do not. Candace, what is a CYA? CYA is nothing but a cover your assets letter. It lets, when you're doing a subject to deal, that document comes with the subject to document packet. It allows your seller to understand that you aren't promising that you're going to make the payments, and you're not personally liable for that debt. They are staying on the debt. Suing the trust is a lien. You could get a lien against a trust. Candace, what kind of money is spent when suing? Also, why do sellers sue over what? It could be anything. Somebody got hurt. Somebody fell off the deck. It could be something frivolous. I don't know. Why do people sue people? Could be anything. Could be anything. Somebody got hurt. But that's why you make sure you get insurance too. Get you an umbrella policy on top of your hazard insurance. What kind of money do people spend when suing? All depends. Why are they suing? What kind of money? I don't know. A couple $1,000s just to get the stuff. But the thing is, they have to spend money to get it started, right? Get it started. Coffee. If IRS about anonymity, when does the rent check get sent to? The rent check can get sent to you or your LLC. You claim that as income, right? The trust owns the property. You collect the rent. The tenant doesn't care. I have yet to have a lease option tenant ask me for the deed, right? They can go look on the deed, and if they want to see the deed, I will produce it. But I've only had to produce it maybe 2 times. Nurse Brandon, what's up, bro? How many times do you need to take to make, how many units do you need to make this a full-time job? Well, my thing was, I just wanted to do, I'm like, if I could just do 5, 6, 7,000 a month, I'd be good. That was my first thing. And now I'm like, man, we think so small, don't we? Nurse Brandon. We think so small, so much opportunity out there. And here's the thing. Real estate, don't forget, for me, it's just one stream of income. We got flips, we've got internet, we've got YouTube, we've got lease options, my buy and hold Section 8. So that's one stream of income. And I don't want you to have one full-time gig. I want you to have several. Nurse Brandon, keep that in mind. Neil, joining late. Can you go over the trustee being the LLC you control? You guys are going to force me to keep talking about that foolishness, right? Okay. Who asked that? Neil, I'm presuming that you don't have someone you trust, which is cool. I'm not going to beat you up. All right. So your trustee, it could either be the person you trust or LLC you control, right? They're just the employee. So you're going to sign. So you got LLC 1. Okay. You sign as managing member when you go to closing. So you're signing in the capacity of the trustee, which is LLC 1. Let me repeat that. You're signing in the capacity of the trustee, which is LLC 1. You are managing member of that trustee. You sign everything. And that LLC is on public record. You own LLC 2. Now you are signing in the capacity of the managing member of the beneficiary. Okay, so it's you and you. You and you. You're on both of them, which I don't want to be. But I'm not mad at you. If you want to do that, you can. Okay. No replay. That is why we're I don't mind coffee. I'm here all day. This is what I enjoy doing this. I'm here for you guys. Dennis, if I purchased the trust paperwork, do you file them with an attorney? We went over that. Yes, you do not. The attorney will file your deed only. You keep the trust agreement in your file cabinet. Derek, do you put any other assets in a trust like cars or businesses? I do not, but I need to learn how to put my lease because I don't buy cars, right? We lease depreciating liabilities. I need to learn paper assets. I don't know that. Candace, how do we leave property for our children? That's going to be another death designation that I do not have here, right? You can get an attorney to create that for you. Coffee, do you have a class for your self-directed IRA that you use for property to contribute? Oh man, contributions. We do not do contributions, Coffee. We do profit, right? Now that's a whole nother class. But we do very minimal contributions, right? Because we want our IRA to make a profit. I do not have a class for that, but maybe that's one I'll do. Joseph, can you transfer an FHA-backed property that was intended to be owner-occupied? Absolutely. The lender doesn't matter. The only lender that I'm scared of is that VHDA, Virginia Housing and Development Association, or something like that, because they have those inspectors that go out. So you can transfer that. Yeah, if it's FHA backed, man, yeah. Well, I would say, Joseph, you might want to live in it for a little while before you sold it. You don't want the inspectors to come in by. You don't want those inspectors to come by and check on you. Family trust, Nick. The little bit I know about them, I like them. Can't be sued, right? So I'm glad you say, Nick, what if you did this? What if you got land trust on title, beneficiary, family trust? See, I'm not an asset attorney, so I can't teach that stuff, right? What if you got your family trust right here as the beneficiaries? You got 2 layers of trusts. And what if you had a member of the family trust, your LLC? I mean, you could layer this thing up. That's a good one, Nick. You could layer this thing up you could layer your way up out of here. Don't forget, you got to unwind it when it's time to dispose of the property, okay? Forever Noble, hey, my friend, can you put a land? Yes, sir. You can put land in a land trust. Absolutely. James, do you put the state you are buying the property in or the state you live in? The state you're buying the property in, my friend. Always remember, James, litigation. Wherever that property is, it's going to be litigated if you go to court by the state regulations, right? Whatever that state is regulated by. Like if you live in Florida and you own a property in Ohio, they're not going to go by the statutes and laws by Florida. They're going to go by the laws and rules and regs for Ohio, okay? Neil, hey, from Hawaii. Wow. Does the trust protect against the IRS? Absolutely not. So remember, when you go to the IRS, right, when they audit you, they're going to look at all the properties you own. They're not necessarily going to say, well, how is it titled? But they'll see the address. So they'll see the address is on Schedule E, right? So when they see that, they're like, okay, you own all these houses. We can get a lien against you. They know you own the house. So they're going to find you. They're going to find you because they have your tax returns on file, right? Can't run from them fools. Just pay them. Like, I know I pay shit, man. How many thousands of dollars do I pay every month? I can't believe it. We pay more in taxes than some people make in a month. This is amazing. Elizabeth, how do you fund your trust? Do you need a bank account for the trust to show proof of funds? Nope. Elizabeth, we got to get you back to what the trust is for. A land trust is nothing, thanks Candace, nothing but a way to take title to a piece of real estate, right? You might want to rewind this a little bit. It has nothing to do with funding, mortgages, financing, down payments, proof of funds, none of that. All it is a way to take title to a piece of real property. That's it. Candace, I feel like some influencers don't speak on the possibility of getting sued. What's the best way to go into real estate investing so you can see why? Get insurance, get umbrella. Like we have millions of dollars of umbrella insurance. I mean, we could stay there all day, but insurance, I pay a lot of money for that. Rabbit Runner, what is the typical cost a lawyer would charge to change the warranty deed to trust? I would say $250. $250. I'm telling you that because I have actually all the houses that I bought, other than the one or two that I still have in my name, I haven't done it. I haven't had to take it out of my name and put it in there into the trust. I bought them in a trust before I owned them, right? So I've actually never done it, which is sad because I need to get them out of my name, right? Dennis, what is a revocable trust? Well, some states don't have a land trust statute, so they want you to change the name. Same thing, land trust. Overcomer in Christ. Is an LLC really needed? No, you don't need it. You don't need it here. Neither do you need it here. As you can see, the beneficiary can be you. The trustee can be a person you trust. You don't need an LLC. You don't need it. Okay. Round up, as we're continuing here with our questions, make sure you use the coupon code CURE to download your own land trust documents. And if by now you understand how important this is, and if all you get out of this training, if all you were to get out of having that is to be prepared when the time comes for you to buy a property, wouldn't it be worth a few tanks of gas? Sunny Road, can you go through a deed preparer if your current title company won't create a new deed? Good Lord, these people burn me up. I would find a title company or attorney that would do that. Doesn't it make you mad, Sonny? You go out here and get educated, and then you go to the professionals that are supposed to know how to do this stuff, and they can't do it. I run into the same problem. Ryan, last question, especially based on your just answered question. What is your question? Hold up, Ryan. You didn't even ask a question, my friend. What is your question? Janielle, the one with a house and mortgage, can move home to a trust. Yes. Then you said if you're buying a house, the bank prefers the homeowner name deed. What's the difference? What's the difference? One with a house and mortgage. You can move the home into the trust. Yep. Mortgage stays. You said you buy a house. Oh, that's if you're buying a house. I'm talking about if you own it already, you can change ownerships on that trust. But if you're just buying a house, the lender, the conventional mortgage company, is not going to like you buying a house in a trust. They are going to want you to have that contract and that house in your name. Okay. JKLM, what's up, my people? What's going on? Ryan, does that mean you can package multiple single family properties into a single trust and sell them the newly created package trust for a larger sum? Basically bundling trust properties, selling the bundle. No, I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to sell each trust by themselves. James, if they sue the trust, can they force you to sell the property? I'm sure they could. But here's the thing. If somebody wants to get you and they have enough money, they got deep pockets, they're going to get you. But my point is 9 times out of 10, they don't want to spend the money. Neil, what happens if the trustee gets sued? The trustee has zero liability to the land trust itself. So you don't have to worry about anything happening to the trust, even dying. Once again, I want you to know that I have a trustee that's filed bankruptcy. No problems with any of the trusts that we have on file or trust that we bought since he filed the bankruptcy. Trevor, you may have answered this. Can someone sue the beneficiaries, or is it difficult to find out who the beneficiaries are? Yes, they can sue the beneficiaries only if they spend some money to find out who the beneficiaries are. Okay, so Trevor, this is just the first line of defense. Okay, so whoever's coming after you, they're going to have to spend some money to get a court order and bring the trustee in and subpoena them and do a deposition. It costs money to do all this stuff. Do they want to do that? I don't know. I hope not. Elizabeth, can a mortgage be acquired with a trust agreement? No. Mortgages have land trusts. The trust agreement is just for real property, not for money. Not for money. Derek, oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. Do you buy any small multifamily subject to? I have not. I will, but I have not. Carlton, what, you got a dog? I was looking at the trust law. It does not look like entity like an LLC can act as trustee. Might not. I'm sure it's different in other states, and I'm assuming no one really cares. Carlton, I have done trusts in Maryland. My friend Chris Birch has done several of them. We had to change the name of the trusts we had to change it from a land trust to a revocable grantor trust. So Carlton, you are right. Oh, the LLC can't act as trustee. Now I don't know about that. You might be right on that too. But so Maryland is funny. Y'all funny up there, man. I don't know why. Louis, if you use a third-party property management company, do you or the trustee on the land trust sign the management agreement? I sign the stuff when it comes down to little things like that. When they're going to mail me a check for rent every month, I just sign it, either for my LLC or just for me, to be honest with you. Revocable trust, same thing as a land trust. Kofori, what's stopping a disgruntled trustee from exposing the beneficiary? Nothing. That's why you got to have people you trust. IRA class, I will definitely look into that. Candace, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Coffee, if we bought the package, can we get the death paper when I get it? Absolutely. I need to get that one. Thank you for asking me. Round up, it has been an honor. 2 hours we've been on here. You got some phenomenal questions. You are going to do well. And then when you watch these videos, it's just, think about two people, not the 150, 60 people that were on here. Think about two people, you and me. Ask your question. I remember when I went to see Patrick Bet-David with Valuetainment for the first time, I was in a room with 800 people. The man comes on and he says, listen, if you got a question, get it answered. I'm here to answer your questions. There's two people right now, you and me, okay? If you got a question, get it out. I don't mind staying here and answering it. This is my mission. My mission is to, one, I'm tired of meeting broke people. I don't want to meet no more broke people. Two, I need you to raise your financial literacy. Raise it up. Pedro, did you take advantage of the CARES Act landlord incentive? I received $5,000 for every Section 8 tenant I rented to. Good Lord, I didn't know about that one. I need to probably go do that, my friend Pedro. Thank you for letting me know about that. So I need to get $5,000 for every Section 8 tenant. Good Lord, let me look into that. Landlord incentive. Pedro, thank you. I don't know about that. Dennis, do you sell subject to paperwork? How much are they? Yes, generally, Dennis, I'm doing a special today. Actually, my subject to paperwork is $200. Just go to krishaskins.com, but you can get a discount for that if you go ahead and get the land trust paper today too. I did do a special for the subject to paperwork. If you get the land trust paperwork today, the doc packet, you can also download the subject to docs for a discount as well. Getting that to put the kids to bed. Ends November 30th. Oh, Lord. Pedro, thanks for that one. I need to get up on that. Johnny, please share again if you already did as to the top benefit for using the land trust. We want to keep your name off public record. So you cannot, well, I don't want to say cannot. So if someone wants to come after you as the beneficiary, they are going to have a conversation. They're going to have a conversation with their pocketbook. Spend some money to come after you. It's not like you're just a sitting duck waiting for some creditor or predator to find you, attach a judgment to you. Then I can't tell you it's probably dozens of people that I've run into can't sell their house because they got an IRS lien or some other creditor has placed a lien, a judgment against them, and now they're crying, oh, I can't sell with a land trust. Generally speaking, it's done. It's done. So that's the main reason, Johnny, get your name off public record. Is there an option to buy our entire school? No, but that's a good point. Maybe Christmas time, I'm sure we'll have something for you guys. I love you. Hey, listen, make sure you take a second. Oh, shoot. Take a second to subscribe, Round Up family. Subscribe to the channel. Like this content. Like the content. Share with any other investors that you think are putting houses in their name. Stop doing that. Listen, I love you, and I will see you soon next week. I need you to tell me too. I've got a multifamily guy. My boy Mike Fritz usually sells his multifamily course for $1,000. Trying to talk him into giving me a huge discount for his multifamily course. But I want to know, would you prefer to see take a multifamily, how to buy multifamily houses, or would you rather have a course where you can how to set up seller financing with the sellers? So y'all, please put in the chat and in the comments below. Would you rather have a huge discount on Mike's how to buy multifamilies, or 2, would you rather get a special on his how to buy houses with seller financing? Seller financing. I want to know which one you guys would like to have, or would like to have more. And shit, if you want both, somebody put both. Good Lord, y'all crazy. Let me know, okay? Put it in the chat and put it in the comments so I can negotiate that with Mike over the weekend. Take a second, use the coupon code CURE to get a discount on my land trust document packet. And you also see that you'll get a slight discount on my subject to docs as well. That link is in the video description below. Roundup, I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.